ball's about to start rolling again. Goals, emotion, great football. The Bundesliga and Bundesliga 2 are back in business.
Catching the eye week after week after week.
Back with a difference, of course, born of necessity in these unprecedented times, with the health and safety of all involved the absolute priority.
The task was to draw up hygiene, medical and organisational protocols to be followed before and during the return to team training and resumption of matchday operations, as well as TV production.
Strict guidelines aimed at maximum risk management. They encompass three principal areas: the domestic environment of the players, staff and referees, team training, and the actual games at the stadium. For all concerned, the successful implementation of the programme begins at home, taking the best possible care of your own health and, by extension, that of your team and society as a whole. Continued social distancing from all but other household members and strict ongoing adherence to personal hygiene protocols. Training routines have also changed, as the head of the Sports Medicine Task Force explained.
We make sure that in the dressing rooms there is enough distance between players, and in the shower rooms there are only very few persons allowed at a time. In addition to that, disinfectants and soap is provided.
The stadiums will unfortunately have to remain fan-free for the time being. Players and club employees will meanwhile be subject to continuous monitoring and regular testing for potential COVID-19 infection.
When a player is tested positive on a throat swab, health authorities are noticed automatically. Typically, the infected person is put into isolation. The contact persons are classified into high-risk contacts and lower-risk contacts, and then the final decision about the management of the case is made solely by health authorities.
As an additional precautionary measure, every team must complete a 7-day training camp quarantine ahead of the designated restart this weekend. And so to the main event, the return of stadium football. Albeit behind closed doors, here too the number of working personnel present will be starkly reduced across the board.
For example, on a regular match day, some 32,000 people would be inside Leverkusen's Bayer Arena. For now, the limit is a mere 213.
The stadiums will also be split into 3 zones: interior, exterior and stand section, with only a certain number of people allowed in each. To further circumvent any scenario of too many bodies too close together, dynamic staff planning will see rotating shifts on match days, with employees assigned specific tasks at very specific times. For the stadium journey, both teams should use multiple buses.
Players and teams are advised to take care that there is sufficient distance between players and staff members to make sure that no infect transmission can happen.
To that end, the teams will be allocated several changing rooms, for example with separate ones for the starting 11, goalkeepers and substitutes. Warm-ups will be staggered, and players will enter and exit the pitch area by different routes. The teams must take to the pitch separately, with no pre-match lineups or handshakes. There'll be more space in the dugout, with only every second or third seat occupied. Television crews will also be streamlined. Post-match reactions remain part of the parcel via the virtual press conference.
The number of journalists in the stadiums is clearly reduced. Plexiglass is used to make sure that there is no transmission of disease from the journalist to the player or the other way around.
In short, it's an altogether rigorous hygiene concept for Germany's Bundesliga and Bundesliga 2, paving the way for football's return in these trying times. Let the action recommence.
Hello? Yes, you.
Where are you going? The Bundesliga on YouTube.
Subscribe now.
We are the Bundesliga.